a tale about some of those chosen by Gaia to be her protectors, born of man, wolf, or other, but all bathed in Luna's light, tasked by Gaia with defending her and gifted with slivers of Luna's rage. These chosen ones can take the forms of man, wolf, or even things in between. Called werewolves by men, these warriors call themselves Garu. But, as usual, I'm getting far too far ahead of myself. Before we get into the story, we need to take care of a little set business. And by we, I don't mean the royal me. I mean we, as in the wonderful people you see before you, because we are Vorpal Tales. We play terrifying tales and awesome adventures every day of the week, and sometimes even twice. We feature a little bit of everything, including They Came From Beyond the Grave, Mage the Awakening, Alien, Ravenloft, and even those nasty blood-sucking leeches. Be sure to check out our website, vorpaltales.com, to see our complete schedule, recaps of the week's shows, links to our social media such as YouTube for past archives of shows, our new podcast, and Patreon, just in case you wanted to show your support monetarily, or go check out our new merch store. Be sure to click follow on Twitch so you get notifications of new shows, and if you check out the YouTube archive, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you get notifications when we post the new ones. Special thanks to On a Path Publishing and White Wolf for gifting us the World of Darkness and all the support they offer, to Astral Tabletop for the awesome virtual space we use to play all of our games, and to Nate Mid from right here at Vorpal Tales for our custom Astral Tabletop character sheets that you can use to play your own games on Astral Tabletop. Now that that's all out of the way, allow me to introduce myself. I am the Touring, and I will be your host, guide, and tale spinner for the evening as we tell a tale of awesome adventure in the world of Werewolf the Apocalypse 20th Anniversary Edition. Now, Cubs, please tell us a little about yourself and the character you'll be playing tonight.
Yes. I am Dwayne, at Made of Kimchi all over the interwebs. Tonight I will be playing Linda Davis, the Hamid Philodox, Children of Gaia.
Hello, I'm Zachary Nowdray, he, him. I can be found on the Twitters, at the Bird app, as @ZachRules. Tonight I am going to be playing Breaker of Chains, the Bonar Lupus Galliard.
Hi, my name is Ray Alexa, they, them pronouns. You can find me over on Twitter at RAChastaway. I will be playing Sage Lavat, your Hamid third child of Gaia.
And I am J3 Billion, otherwise known as John, and tonight I'll be reprising the role of Fracio de Seth, Hominid Ragabesh Glasswalker.
To steal a phrase from another Jason, John and Fraser will be joining us later at a dramatically appropriate moment. So, let's check in with the resident Galliards so they can remind us of what happened the last time we were together. Zach, you gonna read it or do you want me to?
Let me pull it up. I wasn't, I forgot.
Or Galliard wasn't prepared.
The Ardent Riders saw the exhaustion on the cub's face. While she could go on all night, this one was raised with mortals and not prepared to travel as a Garu. They hadn't even undergone their rite of passage yet. Stopping for the night faster than death could see that they had never spent a night under the stars. Once they had made camp and eaten dinner, the two had sat by the campfire. Once we get to your mother's sept, you'll undergo your rite of passage. The experience varies for each of us. I can't tell you what yours will be like, but we have several moons between now and when we arrive. I'm sure it wouldn't hurt for me to tell you a tale or two during our travels, to help introduce you to what your life as a Garu might entail. And if it does hurt, I'll be too far away from your mother to be able to do anything about it. Tracy didn't speak, but the curious expression on their face said it all. Faster Than Death leaned in with a smile. It was March in Minnesota. At the end of the moon, the Sept Elder called forward 4 cubs to let them know their time had come for the rite of passage. The new moon was already off on the wrong foot as he decided there were more important matters to tend to. The Sept Elder made his displeasure known. The 3 remaining cubs, 2 children of Gaia and a Bonar, were told the Sept was not able to contact grandmother for some time, and that the cubs were tasked to re-establish communication. With no other words, the moot ended. The Arthur who was teaching them called the cubs over, providing a map and a compass, and showed them where to find grandmother, on a small island on the opposite side of Lake Superior. The 2 Hamids, Sage Levat and Linda Davis, began planning how to drive there, while the lupus breaker of chains sat there with his head tilted to the side. He couldn't comprehend driving there while they couldn't comprehend traveling as a wolf to get to their destination. In the end, it didn't matter. None of the cubs had a car, and they had been given all they were going to get in the form of help from the map and the compass. The 3 cubs prepared and shifted into their wolf form. Breaker showed them how they could continue on just a little bit more by shifting into Hipspo form before they stopped to make camp. Hamid cubs, still not used to their wolf form, shifted back into human shapes. Just as I see you shiver in the night air, they learned quickly that the clothing that they had attuned to them was no match for their own fur. The 3 huddled together for warmth and went off to sleep. When dawn rose, they prepared to move out. Breaker sniffed out a deer, and they began their first hunt as a pack. Working together, Sage and Linda chased the deer into the waiting maw of Breaker, who quickly put it down. After the hunt, Sage stepped into the Umbra to thank the spirit of the deer for giving them strength. Faster Than Death stretched out her long, thin legs. That's enough for tonight. We have many miles to go tomorrow, and you will need your energy to keep up. Next time we break for camp, I will continue the tale.
Thank you, Zach. And that was a very thorough recap. So we're going to pick up right where we left off. Sage is in the Umbra, and Breaker and Linda are crouched near what's the better part of a deer carcass, because even though there were 3 of you feasting on it, there's still quite a bit of it left. As you guys are kind of discussing Linda's disappearance, going through your own thoughts on that matter, the 2 of you, around the same time, hear a twig snap. Linda, what form are you in right now?
Medical check. Lupus.
Lupus, okay. So you both hear a twig snap and turn your heads and see another wolf. Very gaunt. Looks like he's definitely seen better days. He is in a body posture that indicates caution and wariness, and you can see that his eyes are darting between 3 targets: the 2 of you and that deer carcass. As he kind of lowers his head and allows his body and posture to shift, you can see that he has his tail down, not necessarily between his legs. Both of you recognize this posture as non-challenging and kind of a questioning movement. And as the eyes shift, you see that they spend more and more time on the deer carcass.
If I used Scent of the True form, would I be able to tell if this was a true wolf or a Garu?
What is the roll on that? Do we need
The
a
roll is Perception plus Primal Urge, difficulty 6.
Okay, go ahead and roll for me.
I just told you and I already forgot. Perception, Primal Urge. Trying to use the sheet like a real trooper. 2 successes.
Okay. So you kind of he's made sure to position himself downwind of you, but you, using your gift, are able to get more than just a normal scent-based reading off of him. You're actually almost reading his aura. And you very quickly realize that this is another guard.
Because this is someone that I don't know, Linda will immediately take up a defensive, not threatening, but making sure that she has a wide berth if need be.
Okay. Breaker. You see Linda's attitude and body kind of shift into a little bit more of a defensive, wary pose. Muted.
I'm going to tilt my head slightly and speak in the Garu tongue. Who are you?
Slips through shadow. Who are you? Is his response.
I am Breaker of Chains.
Well met, Breaker of Chains. His eyes shift back to the deer. If you are done, may I?
Join us and tell us of your travels.
This is a fair exchange, he says as he comes in. He kind of actually circles around so that he's not coming between you two. And he moves in and tears off a piece of the meat and quickly gulps it down. Are you two lost? Are you two pack?
Pack. We are on our way to visit someone.
We are waiting for our third.
Another. Good. I am packed, but not whole pack. One of other caught humans. Smells of metal, smells of dead trees. You help?
Near here?
Not far.
Distance.
Short run?
And fill up. And we run.
We run. And with that, he digs in. And he eats a good chunk of the deer, much more than either of you or any of the three of you had eaten. It's very clear that it has been a few days since he's had anything to eat. While he is doing that, we'll switch back to Sage in the Umbra. Your prayer, your rite, is complete. Mm-hmm. You are, as I said, in almost like an idyllic version of the wood. The trees here are actually considerably larger than they were in the physical realm. They're very much more green and leafy. And March in northern Minnesota, there's not a whole lot of leaves on the trees, but here in the Umbra, they are thick with leaves. Was there anything that you wanted to or needed to do while you were in here?
No, just they wanted to thank the spirit like they were supposed to.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you have completed that rite.
And when they are finished, they will bow one more time to where the spirit had previously been, mm-hmm. and they will rejoin Linda and Breaker.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a Gnosis roll, please.
All right. That is 3 dice.
And the difficulty was 4.
Yeah, I got 1 10 and 2 8s.
Okay. So that is 3 successes, which is enough to sidestep instantaneously. So you step back into the physical world, and you appear just about a foot or two away from a strange wolf who is pulling chunks of meat off of the deer that was taken down this morning. As you appear, he kind of leaps away from you with a yelp.
Sage will say, "Who are you?"
He looks around with just a moment of confusion before it dawns on him exactly what happened. He says, "I slips through shadows. I have your friends, your pack. They have agreed to help me." And then he kind of moves back in and grabs another bite. When said, "Waiting on friend," did not expect Umbra.
I'm called Speaks with Ancestors.
Speaks with Ancestors. Good. We are ready for run?
If you are ready.
I'm ready.
And he just turns and trots off. And true to his word, it is only a short run that he leads you on. You head off into the northeast. So you guys were headed essentially straight east, which would have brought you into Grand Portage. And he's actually going a little bit more towards the north than that. So almost heading up towards, Thunder Bay. And it is only maybe an hour at not a full run because he is still weak, but at a decent trot before he slows and drops onto his belly. Slow and quiet now. And he belly crawls forward underneath of a fallen tree branch. And as you get a little bit further, all of you in Lupus can immediately start smelling the smell of man, the smell of, as he described it, metal, the smell of sawdust is very strong in your noses. And you start to pick up the sounds of men moving about. You smell campfire, and you soon enough, crawling on your bellies, come up to the edge of almost you're on the back end of like a box canyon. You are up on a like a ridge line that this canyon is cut into. So you're 40 or 50 feet above, looking down into this camp, and it looks like it is a logging camp, and they have cleared out all of the trees within this maybe 100-yard long by 50-yard wide box canyon, and they've actually got, you know, their equipment in here. So you get the smell of diesel fuel, you smell the oil from chainsaws, and some of you have, Sage probably has seen logging camps before, since you've done a little bit more survival training, a little bit more living out in the wilderness. But Linda, you've also been to protests at logging sites. So
Right.
You are probably equally as knowledgeable about at least some of the equipment. You'd be able to point out what some of the equipment does. And what immediately strikes both of you as odd is that these men are armed, which isn't something that you would normally see of loggers. There are men who are dressed as loggers, you know, work boots, they've got pants and heavy shirts, they've got hard hats on, but interspersed among them are men who are in military fatigues. And you guys both recognize the logos on some of the equipment as Good House International, which you know is a logging company. But you also see that there's a truck that has a different logo on it. And that logo is one of Endron, which you guys know is an oil company. As you guys, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Where pack?
As these, your two Hamid pack members, are kind of scanning out towards the far end of the box canyon, which is where most of the equipment and where most of the there's a couple tents set up. You pick up on a different smell. You pick up on a different sound. You hear and smell the sound of chains, the smell of chains. You smell silver. And as you nose forward, you look down the nearly sheer cliff wall, and there, tucked in at the base of that cliff, are 6 cages. And in 2 of those cages, there are battered, bruised, and heavily chained wolves. One of them looks fairly similar to your new friend. They could be maybe not brothers, but you would guess that they were definitely siblings, as in like cousins or related family. And in the other one is, well, John, why don't you go ahead and describe what Fraser looks like when he's in lupus form?
Lupus form. Okay.
So when you're in your wolf form.
He is actually very lean. I thought about this all day today, actually. He's very lean. He kind of has like graying tufts on the ears. Not that he's actually all that old, but just kind of like the gray accents almost shimmer and change throughout his entire form, and it actually makes him look almost like almost, depending on how you view him, it's either gray and or black. And he's actually just he's on the smaller side, and he is just kind of very, very lean, and very, very kind of like he likes to keep himself very, what he would describe as slick.
So you have essentially what is 2 large cages that have each been broken into split in half. And on one end, you have a wolf that looks remarkably like your guide, slips through shadows. Large wolf, and he is almost has like a reddish tint to his fur, but both of them have a big splotch of red fur on their chest, like right here. And then you've got you've got 4 empty cages, and then on the other end is where you see your packmate. So, Zach, you gain 1 point of rage, and I need you to make me a rage check. So roll your new rage at whatever level it is at. Difficulty on this roll is going to be a 5.
So, if I was at my full rage before, because I hadn't spent any,
you go higher.
So I roll above what my rage is.
Yep.
Okay. This is not the time that I wanted it.
So for those of you who are new to the system of Werewolf, rage is a double-edged sword. It fuels a lot of your abilities. It's what allows you to change shape instantaneously. It allows you to continue fighting after you've taken grievous wounds. It allows you to keep fighting even after you should have died. But it also gives you a hell of a temper. And when certain triggering things occur, you will need to roll your rage. And when you roll your rage on those instances, what are called frenzy triggers, the more successes you have, the worse. So how many successes did you get, Breaker of the Chains?
So on a rage roll, does tens do anything?
No, they just count as 1 success.
Okay. And what was the difficulty of this?
Difficulty of this is 5, because it is one of your pack mates not only in danger, but in silver chains.
Okay. Do ones take away from successes?
Yes.
Then I got 3.
You got 3. Okay. If you had 1 more, you would have frenzied.
Oh, thank you, 1. I'm not gonna ever say this much, but when I got 2 10s, a 9, and an 8, and that one saved me there.
Like, oh damn. So, you barely contain your rage. You manage to push that voice at the back of your head that's screaming, kill them all. Push it back, but you are bubbling with rage. And your group that is with you, looking over that edge, they can all feel the palpable rage coming off of you. And then you look down as well, because you see Breaker looking down, and you see him just hunching and pushing rage down. And that's when each of you see Fraser down there. You each gain 1 point of rage and need to make a rage check yourselves, please.
All right.
Well, while they're doing that, do I see any guards by these cages?
Yes, there are 2 gentlemen standing near those cages.
Together or separate?
One on each end. Basically, one by each cage. And they're kind of off, and then further out is where the rest of everybody is. That's where most everybody is. There's probably a dozen people out there, of which we'll say 4 of them are armed, and then there's the 2 nearest you who are both armed as well. And it seems like the logger types that are dressed for more work are staying as far away from the cages as they possibly can.
About how far down to the ground from where we are on the ridge to?
About 40, 50 feet. Easily jumpable. If you don't mind having to heal a little bit.
Linda got 1.
1? Okay. Sage?
So
Difficulty 5, roll your current rage, which can be higher than your maximum rage.
yeah, so what kind of numbers was I hoping for, just so I know?
You want low numbers on this roll.
Okay, good, because I rolled 2 2s and a 5.
Okay. So that's 1 success for each of you. You guys feel the rage boil up, but it is easily suppressed. And so slips through shadows, motions with his jaw towards the other one, lock jaw. You help. We free.
We help.
We help.
We help. They have our pack too.
Which of you alpha?
Linda will probably look to Breaker.
So he looks to Breaker as well.
Breaker, are you alpha?
Can you take him, and we'll potion to the one by Lockjaw?
Me? That one?
That one.
Nods and slides around you guys so that he can get in position almost directly above that guy. And then he looks and he watches you.
I'm going to walk along the edge over to the other one.
Okay, give me a description of what we're seeing again. I think I'm confused here.
So almost immediately below you are almost like a semicircle of cages.
Right.
In the cage on one end is Lockjaw. In the cage on the other end is Frazier. And Breaker has moved to stand above the guard, who is essentially standing right in front of the cage that Frazier is in, and he has told Slips Through Shadows to do the same thing on the other side.
Are there no
those two guards
patrols or anything like that?
You see those two guards immediately there, and then further out, say almost 100 yards out, is the camp where there's around 8 to 10 lumberjack looking guys, and there's 4 armed guards kind of interspersed with them.
Then if that's the case, Linda will also follow Breaker around, most likely to, after either Breaker takes this guy down, since she is more Hamid than him, probably be easier for her to get the lock undone.
I'm gonna shift into Hispo.
Okay.
And just kind of nod over at Slips and Shadows.
Okay.
And then I'm going to jump off the ridge, trying to land onto the guard.
Land on the guard. Okay. I would like you to roll Dex plus Athletics, and we're going to say a difficulty is 7.
What Sage would like to do is, I have a couple things that Sage would do. One, is there any guards or that look like they might head this way soon?
Or is it
just the one guy?
It's very early in the morning, and everybody over by the fire is pretty wrapped up in making or eating breakfast. So you think that they are pretty fully involved in that.
Secondary question. Cameras.
Not that you see.
Could I make a perception to see if I find one that's not easily noticeable?
Yeah, you can make perception and alertness at a 6.
Okay. Now wait. To see if I can see something that we aren't noticing. No, that might come back to bite us. All right, that is a 10 and 2 8s.
Okay, so you scan the entire area, and you don't see any cameras. You really don't see any. Well, actually, over there in that truck, that might be a camera, but if it is, it's not pointing at you.
Okay, and how far away is the truck?
They're at the far end, so they're 300 feet away, give or take.
Then, not worth it. Yeah, Sage just wanted to make sure.
Yep. So I'm going to say that you're taking essentially this turn to do that.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So, Linda, you were doing what this turn?
I was going to follow Breaker as he leaped.
Okay.
And then I will
follow him. Okay.
Yeah. Perfect. Once I get down, I'll Hamid it up and try to unlock this cage.
Okay. So Breaker, you rolled Dex and Athletics. Difficulty 7 for me.
I did.
Okay. And what did you get for successes?
I got 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay. 2 successes is enough. This guy has absolutely no clue that you are coming. So,
on the way down,
okay.
as I'm coming down claws first, I would like to spend a rage.
Okay.
To shift into Krynos.
Okay.
So that I land on him claws. Just extra weight.
Okay.
Heavy as I can be.
Sounds good. So as you leap and zone in and shift and bring your claws to bear, you see out of the corner of your eye, actually all of you see, slips through shadow do something very similar. He leaps off in his lupus form, and as he falls towards the other guard, he does the same thing, shifts into Krynos. And he got 2 successes as well. So to those of you who are observing, you would see a very large wolf and another large wolf, but just a normal wolf, leap off of this cliff, and as they fall, shift into their war forms. And they both just slam down on top of the guard in front of each of the cages. And I'm going to ask you to roll me a soak.
Three successes.
3 successes, okay. That easily soaks the 2 points of damage that you would have sustained from the bones of this guy that you just flattened, slamming into you, and the force of 600 pounds just slamming into the ground. And needless to say, that gets the attention of everyone in the little compound. So, we're going to roll initiative.
I was kind of hoping that would be a little bit more silent, but...
600-pound Krynos werewolves slamming into the ground on top of people. Not quite. All right, so initiative is your dexterity and your wits dots added together, and then you add that to a roll of a single d10. And that is the rating of whatever form you are in at the beginning of combat.
I mean, technically, in the beginning of combat, I was Nispo.
No, we're starting initiative now.
I know.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, you lose one of those points. Sorry.
So, 5.
Okay, so we are rolling what again?
We're rolling initiative.
Yes.
So you're going to roll a d10, and you're going to add the number of dots that you have in wits and dexterity to that.
Wits and dexterity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Math in my dice game? Rude.
Linda, what'd you get?
Total of 10.
Okay. Breaker?
13.
And Sage.
9.
Okay.
Right, I forgot I was in Krynos and didn't add the 1. 14.
14. Okay. Okay. So in Werewolf, we declare from the bottom up and then act from the top down. So the slowest individuals, which in this case is the guards that are a good ways away from you, are going to go last. So they declare first. And they are going to, they're going to open fire. Sage, you would be next. You are up above, and you can see that those 4 guards at the other end have turned, and it looks like, well, the 4 guards seems like they're maybe not necessarily unsurprised by your appearance, but they're definitely handling it much better than the lumberjacks, the majority of which who have looked at the 2 Krynos at the other end of the place and are either running in terror or are curling up in balls in catatonic states. So what you can do is you can declare an action now, and if we need to, you can alter that action based on what other people in the rounds who act before you do stuff.
So, what I am thinking to aid my fellows is Sage would like to do a little bit of dirty fighting.
Okay.
And I would like to do blinding. And that would be a Dex plus subterfuge roll.
So you're going to try and blind them how?
So I'm hold on. So I'm still up there.
Yep, you're at the top of the ridge.
Question.
Maybe clarify how far away these guards are that are shooting at us.
Yeah.
300 feet. Give or take.
Okay. Is there like what's like the natural like landforms around me like?
So the so off to the sides, basically, if you were to try to circle around, essentially this is a box canyon. So it's kind of the ground below is much lower that comes in, but it's almost like it's cut into this ridge line. So you could run around either side and it would drop down some, but it's not dropping down a whole lot.
Is there any kind of like big boulders or rocks around here?
Yes, but they're like the sides of like pickup trucks. You might be able to scrounge around and find something that's, because smaller.
What I'm thinking is I want to push windows down and maybe play guard bowling.
Okay.
If I can.
So it would take you, I'll say that you can, pick a side, run around, and it will take you your whole turn to get to an area where you would be above them enough that you could then look for a boulder to shove if you wanted to do that.
Yes.
Okay.
I want to do some guard bowling.
Okay. So Sage is going to circle around to try to get above some of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Linda.
Taking the effectiveness that she saw Breaker use and still being up on the ridge, she will circle around as well on the side that she is on. And then once she gets to a good leapable area, she will also leap off and spend the rage to go into Krynos. And
Okay.
hopefully do some cool stuff like Breaker.
Okay. So you actually want to try and get like closer to them, being up here instead of down below them.
Right.
Essentially. Okay. So you can do the same thing as Sage, where you can move the entire turn to be directly above them, or if you wanted to just move partially and then jump in.
No, I'll use the whole round to move.
Okay. So you're going to circle the other way.
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Pack tactics.
All right. Slips is going to wreck the cage that Lockjaw is in. And Breaker.
I am going to lift up the guard, digging my claws into his neck, so that if he is still alive, he now has multiple puncture wounds into his neck.
Oh no, he's definitely dead.
Okay, I'm still.
You can
okay,
tell that just from where
then
you're at,
I'll
yeah.
probably dig in a little further down, maybe in the center of around the spine area, so I can get a good grip on him and hold him like a shield.
Okay.
And with the other hand, I'm going to rip off wherever he has keys.
Okay.
And I'm going to throw the keys into the cage.
Okay.
And then proceed towards the guy shooting.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you do that. No problem.
And in a defensive. I don't know how we would consider that for a defensive role, but
I'm going to say that it acts as armor 1, so he's going to basically it's going to add a die to your soak pool.
okay. He's not wearing armor himself.
Well,
or security guard.
He is wearing armor, but a 600-pound werewolf landing on it kind of wrecked it a little bit.
That's still bad body warming.
They don't make it like they used to. That's right. All right, so Breaker executes. Give me a Dex Athletics roll. Picking him up, not a big deal. Grabbing the keys off, not a big deal. But it is going to be a little. Let's do a difficulty 7 to get it between the bars into the cell.
I did it.
Okay.
That's 3 10s and 9 and an 8. I love
Alrighty.
these dice.
Those are some good dice, yeah.
By the way,
Where'd you get those dice?
These are splatter dice. I got them out of Kickstarter, and they have been doing extremely well for me. By the way, just
All right. So let's see. That was 5 successes.
that was 5 successes.
5 successes. Okay. So with
3
5
10s.
successes, you not only get it through the bars, but it lands literally on the paw of Frazier. You put it exactly where you want it to be. You charge forward with that guard held up in front of you as a shield, and Slips. You see him rear up in Krynos and just claw into the side of the cage, tears it open, and reaches in and is tearing at the ropes to free Lockjaw. Linda and Sage both take off different ways, and then the gunfire erupts. The 4 guards that were just kind of stunned, 2 of them key in on Breaker charging towards them. The other 2 see Linda and Sage running along the top of the ridgeline, and they crisscross and begin shooting at them. And there's my little cheat sheet I made. There it is. Okay. All right. So.
Would us moving make us harder to hit?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So we'll handle the two that are firing at Breaker first. At this point, they're just going to do a single shot. I am going to give them a +2 difficulty to hit because they are trying to shoot you around your shield. Okay, so I got 2 successes on that shot at a difficulty of 8, and no successes on that one. Okay, so one of them does manage to shoot between the swaying legs of the corpse that you're carrying. Roll me a soak, and you get an extra die for the shield.
How much mine do I need to soak?
6. I rolled really well.
Okay. I soak 4.
Okay. So you take 2 levels of lethal damage. And let's see. And the 2 that were firing up at the top of the ridge, they switched their guns into 3-round bursts. Each of you catches 1 single bullet. So, Sage, roll me a soak to soak 3 points of damage. And
right.
Linda, you need to soak 1. I rolled horribly on that one.
What is soak in this game? I've never had to soak.
Stamina with
Okay.
a difficulty of 6, and it uses the stamina of the form that you are in. So I believe you guys are both in lupus.
Yep.
Yes. So I get 4 dice.
So 6 difficulty.
Yep.
6.
Difficulty 6. Yep.
Two successes.
3 successes for me.
Okay. So Sage, mark off 1 level. I think they said 3 on you. And Linda, the bullet hits you, and your kind of cuts a furrow through your fur, but your werewolf physiology heals it immediately, almost immediately.
It's my favorite patch of fur.
Bastard.
Alright, so which one is it?
You take 2 health levels of damage.
On the sheet is the middle column.
Frazier, roll me initiative.
9.
9, okay. All right. So in order to speed things along a little bit, we're just going to continue with this order of initiative and add Frazier and Lockjaw in. All right, the guards are going to continue with their shots. So they are going to have two that were shooting at Breaker are going to continue shooting at Breaker, and each of the ones that was on Linda and Sage are going to continue to shoot at them. Frazier, you are barely conscious. I'm going to say that you are at maimed on your health track.
Is that mauled?
Mauled.
Okay. Clearly does not like that.
Mauled? No good.
Yeah, so you are at mauled on the health track. You have half your willpower, all of your gnosis, and no rage currently. But you do have a set of keys for the collar around your neck that is laced with silver and the cage that you are in, laying in your paw. You just need to get into a form where you can use it. So, I'm guessing you're going to shift forms this turn and then try to unlock yourself.
That makes the most sense.
Or
I'm going to ask this question only because I don't know, not because I'm questioning your storytelling. Can we shift if we would have silver around our neck? Is that something that we could still do? Okay.
Yeah. What silver does is it actually it lowers your gnosis rating by an amount of the silver.
Okay.
So depending if it's like just like a normal silver, like a small chain, would lower it by 1. More silver lowers it by more.
Yeah.
So the main issue that is preventing Frazier from shifting was that the fight that he put up when he got captured burned all of his rage, and that's what fuels that shape-shifting ability.
Right.
The downside of being in the silver for him is that it has sapped his gnosis so that he can't use any of his gifts in order to help him break out either. So it's kind of he's kind of stuck there because they beat the crap out of him and he spent all of his rage fighting. And then once they got him in there and locked up, it sapped his gnosis so that he couldn't step sideways and he couldn't use any of his gifts to try to break out. But now that he has keys and he has the glimmer of hope of his pack mates here, that is allowing him to kind of resurge and get himself out. So he's going to shift, which is a reflexive action, so that's not his actual action, and unlock himself. Okay. All right, Sage, you are over them. So this turn you're going to spend searching for a big boulder.
Yeah, so I would hope that because it's big, I can just see it.
Yep, there's definitely one there, so you're going to push that over the edge, try and crush some of them.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just going to put down
Gunman bowling. Gunman bowling.
Crunchy Crunch. Linda, you're going to jump down
Yeah,
And
I'll make it all cinematic. Once I hit that perfect angle, I'll stop and come down about 5 feet down the ridge, and then jump off, and then I'll spend a rage and go into Krinos.
Beautiful.
Landing within the fray.
Beautiful. All right.
Like a whirly razor death machine.
All right. And Slips and Lockjaw are going to follow Breaker's lead and wade in. And then Breaker, you are close enough that you can move up and attack one of the gunmen.
Okay, so I got that close.
Yep.
I'm throwing the body at them.
Okay.
Are there any that are like? Are they like shoulder to shoulder, or how far apart are they?
No, they're actually kind of scattered around, so you can hit one of them, I'll say.
Okay. Did I gain a rage from getting shot?
You took damage, so yes, you gained a rage.
Okay. I'm going to go right ahead and spend that. So what I'm going to do is throw at the first one.
Yep.
Throw and then leap at the other one.
Okay.
Like just throwing myself through the air and shifting into this boat, and I'm going to bite it.
Okay. Sage, you also would have gained a point of rage because you took damage.
All right. Cool.
So.
What question for when it's my turn?
Yep.
Just so I know. What form would I need to spend my rage on to turn into to make sure when I do?
You can spend 1 point of rage and automatically, instantaneously shift into whichever form you want.
Yeah.
You would know that Krinos is the biggest strength boost. So being in Krinos to push the rock is going to be the form that you want to be in. Absolutely.
Okay. Cool. And I'm going to mark my new rage with the semicolon.
All right, Breaker. So you're going to spend a point of rage for an extra action.
Yep. So first, I'm going to roll to regenerate damage in combat as a reflexive action.
Excellent. Thank you for reminding me of that. I forgot to say that.
Oh, sure. Now they don't give me any successes.
Can you remind everybody what that roll is?
That is stamina, difficulty 8, to regenerate 1 point of health, either lethal or bashing.
Excellent. And you got no successes?
I got no successes.
Okay, but you did not botch, correct?
I did not botch.
Okay,
thankfully.
perfect.
But I was so.
Okay. So right. You don't lose anything, you just can't heal anything in this turn.
Right.
Yep. Okay.
So
I'm going to have you do let's see, dexterity and athletics to hurl the body.
Okay. And then to jump on the other one and bite?
And then to jump is going to be strength plus athletics for the jump. And then you'll do your normal, as long as you get more than, let's say, 2 successes, because he is a decent distance away. As long as you get more than 2 successes on that, then you'll do your normal bite.
Okay. So then... the throw is full on because I'm not splitting for that. I'm using the rage for the other part.
Yep.
Right?
If you wanted to split actions, I would let you do that. or you can just spend a point of rage to get an extra action and have full dice pools for both.
Well, the other action is 2 actions, so it would be 1 rage for the second action. Jump and bite is 1, or are we counting that as 1 action?
I'm going to count that as movement and action.
Okay.
I'm not going to make you. Yeah.
And you said it was dexterity to throw?
Yes.
That's
I'm not worried about the distance. I'm just worrying about the accuracy.
Okay.
He's easily within your strength distance to hit. Because you are in Krynos, which gives you a strength of what, like 7?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can easily chuck this dude a dozen yards. No problem at all.
I should not have given these dice praise, because they just...
How quickly they turn.
They get shy when they're praised and like, no.
Apparently.
But I managed not to botch, so just no successes.
Okay.
Wait, what was the difficulty on that?
Difficulty on that was going to be a 7. Because it's a little unwieldy. Okay.
Yep, no successes.
Okay. But I will say that it is going to be enough to cause him to have some decreased accuracy. Let's just say that. Having the body of one of his friends thrown at him and landing at his feet or near him is going to be not something that he's used to at all.
And then my second one is a leap and bite.
Yep.
So then it's dexterity and athletics again.
Strength for this one.
Strength for this one.
Yep. Because this one you're jumping a decent amount, so it's not necessarily aim. It is actually getting close to him so that you can bite him.
Standard difficulty or?
Yeah, 6 is fine.
4 successes.
Oh yeah.
Now the violence ensues.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm going to shift into Hispo while in the air.
Yep.
So do I have to split the primal urge roll to split if I'm not spending a rage?
No, because that's a reflexive action. That doesn't split.
Okay, but I still have to roll it.
Yes.
Okay.
But you only need 1 success at a difficulty of 6.
7 for Hispo.
You're going from Krynos to Hispo.
Yep.
So Krynos is a 6.
Oh, I thought the number was what you were trying to get, not what it was changed from.
No, that's the difficulty to shift from that form. Because otherwise you'd have to change the difficulty as you went across.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. I wasn't too worried. 1 form, so...
With 9 dice, I hoped I would have gotten it.
Yeah, especially
with the hurt penalty.
Yeah, especially when you're in Krynos, that's a pretty big pool.
And then what do you want for an attack roll?
Attack roll for a bite is dexterity plus brawl at a I believe a bite is a 5. And you're gonna do strength plus 1 plus any extra successes.
Now, I do have a specialty of being in wolf form.
So each 10 counts as 2 successes.
Oh, this guy's fucked. 3, 4. That's 8 successes.
8 successes on the hit?
On the hit.
Okay, so you're going to do... so how do you want to end this guy? Because you're doing aggravated damage, which he can't soak.
Yep. So I'm just going to... I'm lunging at him, and I'm just biting, and his head comes with me as my body kind of goes over his shoulder. But he's still standing, so his head just kind of cracks, snaps
Kind of
back.
pops off.
Yep.
Okay.
Not completely. There's a tearing, but he might just hang there for a moment before falling over, partially decapitated. Should I actually roll or?
No. With that level of success, you.
I mean, 14 dice. Come on.
Yeah. No. He's just gone.
Nearly headless. How can you be nearly headless?
Like this.
Just a mist.
Essentially, yes. All right. So, Lockjaw and Slips both charge across, with Slips kind of carrying Lockjaw because he's in about the same shape as Frazier, where he's not looking real good. Linda, you wanted to leap down, changing form along the way.
Yep.
All right, so you can. The leap I'll consider part of a movement, so
Okay.
I will ask for. Since you're not trying to necessarily land on him, unless you are.
Yeah.
Do you want to land on him?
Yeah, whatever guy is closest to where I'm jumping from.
Okay, so you want to try and land on the guy who is shooting up at you. We'll do dexterity plus athletics at a difficulty 7 to see if you can land on or close to him. And then you're going to try to change in the middle. Do you want to just spend a rage to change?
Yeah, I'm going to spend a rage to change. I'm guessing would that apply before I roll or after?
That depends. You're in Lupus right now,
Correct.
which gives you a pretty decent dexterity.
Yeah, it does.
So I would say leaping in Lupus, rage to change in mid-flight is
And land
basically
like a boss.
perfectly acceptable. That is one of the major benefits of being a werewolf and being able to change shape instantaneously with a rage, is that you can do cool shit like that.
Alright, here comes the jump. With no successes.
No successes. Okay. So you get down, but you are not close enough to him to do any kind of a fancy thing. But I will say that you can claw or bite at him, though. You're close enough that you can continue moving and get to him. You just don't get the cool points.
No cool points. So probably not close enough for a bite, so I'll just go for a claw.
Okay.
Wait, that's not right.
We'll take this opportunity to remind chat that you guys are the patrons, the patron totem spirit for the pack. So at any point, you can vote to give them basically a bonus willpower, gnosis, or rage that they can use. So all you have to do is shout that out in chat. Is this the points thing?
Yes. We recently changed to using our channel points. So if you want to boost an individual player, just check out the channel points and check out the 500 Vorpal Spawn. Boost a player or the storyteller. There are a lot of other different channel points that we have added, so use them at your pleasure.
There you go. And Made of Kimchi gets a boost.
Good, because I need it, because I botched that roll. What are our boosts for this? I know you just said it, but I was laughing at myself.
So you can use that boost as a rage, a willpower, or a gnosis. So I will we'll say that because you rolled before I finished my broken spiel, because I don't have that one by any means memorized, we'll let you roll as if you used a willpower. So would that have affected you at all?
I don't think. What does willpower do in Werewolf?
So it gives you one automatic success. So
I wouldn't have botched. I would have just.
You would have just failed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's better than botching. So
we'll call that a win for you then. All right, and
didn't fall on my face, but I didn't hit anything.
Yes.
All right. Twist your ankle.
Yes. All right, Sage.
Yes.
You have found a boulder. It is large.
All right.
You are pretty sure that if you shove it off the edge, it will do some damage, or at least confuse the hell out of people.
You know what? Whatever gives my people the up and up, I am going to spend a point of rage
to shift into Krynos form.
Yes.
Okay. And then you're going to shove that rock.
Yeah. Or throw it if that works better.
Or
whatever I can do. Just as much power as I can put behind it.
How big of a rock do you want?
The biggest I can get.
Okay, because there's a big one here.
like I said, I want.
You think you could probably push.
All right.
So, I'm going to have you. I'm going to have you do this. This rock is so large that your 6th strength is not quite enough to get it rolling.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have you do a feat of strength roll. So this is, you are going to roll your willpower at a difficulty of 8, and every success that you get is going to add 1 to your effective strength level for this action.
All right.
And you are welcome to spend a point of willpower in order to guarantee 1 success if you would like. Because this is basically, you are willing your body to go beyond what even your werewolf musculature. So you're taking those bones that are made of basically adamantine with steel cable muscles, and you're going to push those things even farther than you already do on a normal day-to-day basis.
So if I spent a point of willpower, would I instead only roll 3 dice?
Nope. You roll your full willpower.
Okay.
Not just what you currently have.
Like I have 4 dice. I have 4 willpower.
I thought you had 5.
5?
Oh, nope, you are at 4. You're right.
Or I can throw that dice. That's another thing I can do instead. Just throw the dice at my camera. Alright, so I spent a willpower for 1 automatic success, and I got a 9, a 10, an 8, and a 7.
So you got 4 additional successes, which gives you an effective strength of 10, which is, I think, enough to like lift a locomotive and throw it. So you crouch down, get your claws up underneath of this rock, and just and hurl it up into the air. And you hear it come crunching and crushing down. And you move up to the edge and look over, and you see this boulder that's the size of a small house has taken out 3 trucks, the guy that was shooting at you, and a few other people.
Excellent.
All right. And Frazier. In order to shift forms, you need to make a stamina plus primal urge roll. Your difficulty is going to be a 6.
And you said I was in Hispo for this, yeah?
You're in Lupus.
Or Lupus, excuse me. So 6. And I got 3 successes.
3 successes, okay. So you shift through Hispo into Krenos and into Glabro, which is close enough to human and Hamid form that you can use those keys.
Excellent. I'll get my big meaty mitts on them and
It's a little sketchy because you do have claws, but you get the keys and you unlock that collar that was digging into you with the silver tied through it that you could feel cutting you off from Gaia. And you are standing inside of a cage in Glabro.
a lot of my resources are still kind of meh at this point.
You have 1 point of rage.
I'm gonna honestly try and rip off some of these bars if I can, and make a spear out of them. If that is something I can do.
In Glabro form, you have what for a strength?
4.
4. Okay. 4 strength is not going to be enough to tear those bars apart.
Alrighty.
Now, I will remind you that you do have a key for the lock on that cage in your hand.
Yeah, so I'm gonna unlock the cage.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna actually, seeing as how I got my collar off, I'm gonna go and try and help the other people on the other side.
Okay.
Get out of the cage and help them with their collar.
All right. Wonderful. So there is one guard left standing. He's going to shoot at Linda because Linda is right there in his face. Frazier, you're going to spend the turn moving towards the other end of the canyon. Sage, what would you like to do?
How far away is this one last guy?
He's on the other side, so 50 yards.
I want to...
You could probably get to him this turn, but you wouldn't be able to attack.
That's fine. Oh, I want to, I'm gonna get to him.
Okay. Linda?
I'm gonna try and make myself look like I know what I'm doing, and go for the last guard that's shooting, if he is still alive by the time it's my turn.
Okay. Alright, Slips and Lockjaw are still moving up, and they're gonna try to attack if they can get to the other end in time. Breaker. So, the guy that you threw the body at, he is still, he's still standing. He spent the last turn looking at his buddy, and now this time he is raising his gun towards you again.
There's two guys left.
I forgot that the other guy was standing there kind of going, oh, hi, Steve. You could easily get to him and attack this this turn without having to expend any resources.
I could, but I will. So I want to just run right between his legs, right at his knees.
Mm-hmm.
And at the moment of impact, shift into Krynos. And just like rip him up, and like so that he not only is taken out and he gets slashed by my claws digging into his hands, but if he when he hits his head on the ground, theoretically, I don't know if I'm describing that right, but yeah. I want to run into him so it kind of goes like this, and then shift up so that he comes up, and then force him down.
Okay.
So that he like cracks his head.
Okay. So I'm going to say that because you're in Hispo now, you're going to charge into him. Make a oh god, no, you've got what, strength 6 in Hispo? Sounds about right. Yeah.
Before this, I will do that reflexive to try to heal again.
Try to heal again. Yep. Sage, I forgot to mention that you could have done that last round. Make a stamina difficulty 8.
Oh.
I do get I get multiple successes, but only one can be healed either way.
Yep.
So, but I'm no longer hurt, and I no longer take a -1 to dice.
Yes.
So.
Now the real pain begins.
So, you roll to run into him.
We're gonna call that a tackle.
Okay.
So I think that on a tackle, it is. I think that's on the sheet.
Dex plus brawl difficulty 7 is a body tackle.
Yeah, we'll call it that.
All right. 5 and then 4. Wow. So that is 2 successes.
Okay, that's all you needed. So you hit him and spend your rage to shift into Krynos, or are you gonna roll?
I will roll it.
Okay.
Because I have 10 dice, I might as well use them all.
Might as well use them.
Yes.
Okay. And then give me a strength for damage. I'm going to say +2 dice for the flip and slam.
There's a cock dice that caught on the edge. And Act 1 came up as a 1, that bastard. 3 successes.
Okay, 3 successes. Oh, he's a tough son of a bitch. He soaks it all. But he is laying flat on his back.
And I spent a rage to jab him for good measure.
Sure. You can claw him with a rage point.
Okay. What's claw?
Dex plus brawl, difficulty 6, I believe.
Yeah.
Dex plus brawl. So that is 4 successes, sorry.
Okay, so you do strength plus 4 damage.
Yes.
Yes.
2 for... Oh, that's a 1, damn it. 2 for 5 aggravated damage from the claw.
Okay. His armor soaks 1. But he is at wounded. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, so he's at mauled. Yep, he's not looking very good at all. Alright, Lockjaw and Slips make their way over. They see that you have that guy handled. They see that Linda is right on top of the other guy. They are not going to try to kill Steel, so they will just stop and prepare to back up either one of you if needed. Sage, you are moving across towards Linda and the one that was shooting at her.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna charge over there in Krenos, or do you want to change form or anything like that? In Krenos, you can move almost as fast as you can in Lupus, and you can get over there. You don't necessarily need to change form. If you wanted to, you could, though.
I think I'm more concerned with just running.
Okay.
And as fast,
Oh, I skipped Linda.
It's okay.
Linda.
Sad at her last performance. Needs to step it up. So I too will follow the lead. I'm gonna spend a rage to get an extra action.
Okay.
So I'll pretty much be making 2 attacks on this poor fellow,
Okay.
whether he needs it or not. Question is, what are we gonna do? We're gonna come in with a claw attack first.
Okay.
Two successes. So that would be
Strength +2. I think claws is strength +1 by default.
Is 4 aggravated.
4 aggravated. All right. And he soaks 1. So he is still barely standing.
Oh, good. So now that I'm
with
close enough to him, I'm just going to go and try and shove his entire head in my mouth.
Wonderful. Give me a bite roll.
3 successes.
All right. So strength +4.
Yeah, that's going to be 13.
Yeah. You fit his entire upper body in your mouth.
That was a really good roll. I rolled 4 10s.
And then just snap and drop him.
with his head kind of still in my mouth. Do good. Better than last time.
Breaker, the guard at your feet, looking up at you from flat on his back with his armor, just huge claw marks through it, his chest kind of gaping open. He has his assault rifle in his hands and he just flops it down and holds his arms out. What do you do? Or how about this? Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll find out what Breaker of Chains does with this man who is surrendering. So it is 9:47. Let's go just turned 9:48, so let's be back at 9:58. Let's take a 10-minute break. Welcome back to Mortal Tales. When last we left, Breaker of Change was standing over a guard who had dropped his weapon. Now that you've had a few minutes to either suppress or encourage your rage, what happens next?
I'm gonna lean in real close, so that he can smell he can feel the heat from my breath when I speak. Where the other wolves?
So, when you are in Krenos, which is the form that you are in, you can speak the Garu tongue, but not human tongue. So, to him, all he hears is deep, guttural growling and chuffing. But
Are
from
partial shifts a thing?
Yes, but I'll say that from behind you, you hear Slips in shadows speak up, and he says, "This is it. Lockjaw was the other."
Then we don't need him.
No. We don't need any of them.
He's getting curb stomped.
Okay.
Would you like me to roll it,
No.
or?
No need to roll.
All right.
So, Linda, what are you doing? There are still a few of the non-combatant lumberjack types around. They are trying their best to meld into the ground or become one with the tire of a truck or something like that.
So I will be totally open about it. Still being in Krenos, I will walk towards them. But just as I get there, because I do have a timid side, I will revert back to Hamid.
Okay. And that is your braid form, so you don't need to roll. You can do that reflexively whenever you want.
And because of my... Oh yeah, I have clothing on, so I'm good. I keep forgetting that. I have clothing on. Good.
I made sure of it.
Yeah, so all they see now is the the 6 foot tall tan skin. The nice ambiguous clothes. And the closest one probably still cowering. I'll just kind of like kick him with a nudge, not enough to hurt, but just be like, "Hey, what were you guys doing here?"
Logging.
With armed guards?
Yeah. There's wolves around, and he kind of points towards where the cages were.
Now, I've been to logging camps before. Usually you don't. You might have a security guard or two with a pistol, maybe a shotgun. But a whole contingent with automatic weapons seems a bit excessive to me.
He just kind of glances out and goes to look towards the cages and catches sight of the three for in Krenos and just kind of turns his head back. And he says, man, those wolves just wouldn't leave us alone. And that's when Lockjaw finally speaks up. And he, true to his name, now that you look at him, you see that his lower jaw is actually, at some point, was severely broken and has healed kind of crooked. So he can't open his mouth all the way. But he can open it enough to get his point across. His words are a little bit shorter, a little bit choppier, and a little bit slurred, but you can make out what he's saying. And he says, we fight, we kill many here. They fear us like they should. We kill all. Keep come back. And he and slips through shadow start moving towards them with intent.
Out of curiosity, what kind of guns were they?
AK-47s.
So they have a thin, long, a bit of a barrel that's...
Yep.
As this is going on, Breaker is going to be bending the barrels so that they can't work.
Okay. Sage.
Sage is going to go assist Linda and switch back into their Hamid form as well. And is just gonna like look at this logger and say, so how did you get these guards? Did you hire them, or did they show up on their own?
He kind of shrugs and he looks towards one of the headless bodies and just kind of points at it. He's corporate, I guess. And when you look over, you do see that they have on their arm a patch with the logo of the logging company on it.
Sage is going to go look through their pockets for forms of ID, any kind of information they might have on them.
Okay. So you're going to start kind of pulling IDs from the guards' pockets and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Frazier, you have been limping your way across the field. You haven't really been doing much, so your body has begun the process of healing. So you can, because they didn't do any aggravated damage to them, because they didn't have the means to do so. And actually all of you, since you're not in combat, have been healing at the rate of a health level basically every few seconds. So by the time you limp your way across the football field of this little canyon, this little like depression in the earth, you're pretty much fine physically. because just werewolf shit. You're
because werewolves are badass. That's what I like to hear. Yeah.
Slough it off.
You start out kind of limping, almost dragging a leg, and by the time you're about halfway there, you're walking with a little bit of a hitch, and by the time you get up to the rest of them, you're not feeling 100% because you're still down on your rage and your gnosis, but all of those cuts and scrapes and bruises and the bullet wound that you had in your side, they're fully healed.
So it's a moment in like Wolverine, right, when he's coming up and all the bullets kind of like fall out, and then just as he walks up there, you just hear this crack, and his hip that was dislocated comes back together, and he's like, oh, kind of flexes his leg and starts actually walking now, and he's like, oh, all right. And he's just gonna walk up to him and be like, well, you think that you own these lands, boy? You should have known better, especially when people were going missing. How in the hell do you think you were gonna survive out here?
I don't know.
Well, you got fucking lucky once. Well, that ain't gonna do you. I looked around at everyone here. Now, what do you think an intelligent man like yourself should be doing?
Running?
If we let you get away.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, good, smart person. You are smart. look over at the rest of them, and especially Breaker, and be like, I apologize about the whole cage thing and the collar. Wasn't my most famous endeavor, I suppose. But you should have heard the story about getting me in there. I mean, that was fantastic. That was a good one. Yeah, you should hear that one, not the part. Forget about the cage. Yeah, and yeah.
Oh, I do want to hear about it. How did they get you in that cage, and why?
But I mean, the cage part is kind of boring. I mean, I was just lying in the cage, and they kind of just pulled me along, and they'd hook up chains to it, and I'd either have to walk along, or that's actually how my hip got dislocated in the first place. I was trying to break the cage, and I figured, what's a foot? Maybe I can bend it or something. It wasn't my most intelligent idea, I'll give you that.
What were you doing so far from home?
I was actually headed to Duluth, and I was going to meet the contact out there by the name of Andrew. And yeah, I heard actually that another werewolf from another tribe had gotten caught, and we went to go help him, and I ended up here.
And that's when Slips will speak up, and he'll say, yeah, he brave, went in alone, tried to save.
Yeah, that was
It didn't go well.
I mean, I would put it another way. I mean, I failed upwards. I mean, obviously I'm here, and you guys caught scent and came. So, obviously, like, it's fine. It's fine. You guys are here now. That's awesome. I led you here, so that's great. So thank you. Is there, what are we doing now?
While this conversation is happening, once Breaker has done bending and disabling and making all the guns useless, he's going to start going up to the cowering mortals. And like kind of one by one, he's just gonna grab them, pick them up, and try to find their phone.
Okay. So let's jump back to Sage real quick.
Yeah.
You were searching the guards.
Yes.
Okay. So you find that the guards, none of them have any phones on them, but they do have IDs. And kind of looking through the IDs for the 4 that are out here, you quickly learn that they are not locals.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is from Vegas. One of them is from somewhere in North Carolina. Another one is from Florida. They're kind of from all over the place. About the only thing that you find that is common is that all of them do have a ID card that marks them as being employees of Good House International, which is the lumber company.
All right.
And as you come over to maybe discuss that with the group, Breaker is coming to kind of the same type of conclusion. None of these people have any phones on them. They have radios, but they don't have actual phones on them.
I am breaking those radios.
Okay.
And if there's radios in the trucks, I'm breaking those too.
When I see Breaker doing that, I help him break those.
Okay. While you guys are breaking radios, Lockjaw and Slips are still in Krenos, kind of herding all of the humans back towards the cages. Dragging them by the ankles if need be.
I mean, what are we going to do with them as a permanent solution? Kind of.
Kill them.
What end?
Man. I mean, they're just, I don't know.
This is not our way. We don't just go around willy-nilly.
I mean, there's killing them might attract more attention down the line. And obviously, so could letting them loose.
Does my heightened senses hear this conversation?
I'm
working out radios?
Yeah.
I mean, we already killed a bunch. I'm going to shout out while I'm ripping a radio out of the truck or something.
Sparks flying. Just...
And hearing Breaker yell out, "We already killed a bunch," Linda will go, "Well, yes. They were also firing at us."
The humans aren't going to care. We killed a bunch. If we kill a bunch more, it's not going to make a difference.
It will later.
I mean, we're looking at, like, maybe they send more people out here with more contracts, or we kill them all, and they send an entire platoon out here. Like,
here's what's going to happen if we kill all of them. Yes, we have our immediate solution of everyone in this camp is dead. You know, we wipe our hands of it and we move on. If nobody comes back, the humans will send people to investigate why.
People already ran off.
That is true. A few of them did already run off into the forest.
Like they will send not just people to run the mill or to guard it, but to actively search out what happened.
As you say that, that's where you look around and you notice that there's no trucks here to haul the wood away. all of the trees that were cut down are just kind of piled up off on the side.
Sage will go back to that one particular guy and be like, where are the trucks for the lumber?
We're just clearing the ground.
So when did the trucks come?
I don't think they are.
What are you clearing the ground for? I think you're a smart man. You know that.
For those the Enron guys.
What are they doing?
I don't know.
So
Is
you're
that- We're talking. Sorry.
So you're. What is your name?
Bob?
Okay, Bob. So you're sitting here telling me that you took a job as a person who cuts lumber for a living, and you don't know nothing about no trucks coming. You're just cutting down the trees for these.
Yeah, I got offered a contract. Like
What I'm saying is you don't even know what the contract is for.
3 months. Come up here. Come in, no contact. Cut down trees. I mean, I don't give a shit what they do with the wood. Just making a paycheck, man.
I mean, we're talking to the wrong person if we want to know what happened here. You seem to be pretty keeping this under wraps. We want this guy's lower on the totem pole. I think we want middle management.
Where's middle management?
They're not going to be here.
Looks around and there's probably out of the I think there's 8 to 10 lumberjack kind of guys. There's only 4 of them that are still alive, and he looks around, and he kind of points off towards one of the trucks. And this one had the Enron logo on the side of it. And I say had because it now has a boulder on top of it.
Yeah, see, there you go. You did well. You're an intelligent man. I'm going to call you intelligent now. Is that okay, Bob? I mean, Dick? I mean, intelligent?
Yeah, whatever. Well, okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
You still didn't answer the question, Bob.
What was the question?
Where would middle management be? I know it's not in the truck.
No, he was in the truck.
Oh, he was in the truck. Linda will actually walk over and see if there's anybody in the smashed truck.
Yeah.
Flattened like a pancake, I see.
Oh, shit.
Well,
Did I see this person while I was tearing radios out of trucks?
Well, this truck is under a boulder, so you didn't really pay much attention to that one. Because that radio is not going to do anybody any good.
I took care of that radio earlier.
Yeah.
Anybody else, pray tell, around here that would be middle management, Mr. Intelligent?
The guards with the guns, they seem to know more than the rest of us. And then there was the guy in the truck, and
anyone alive that you would let's narrow the field here a little bit. We'll put some parameters on this search. Alive people, if you will.
Maybe John. He was
John.
He was the supervisor.
John.
Yeah,
Give me
start
John.
yelling.
He's
Give me John.
not here. He's not here.
Where is John then?
Dad? Ran away? I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Do you have something of John's?
No.
Do you know where John kept his office?
He points off to towards one of the tents.
Good, Mr. Intelligent Man. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to head towards the tent.
Okay. I'm going to narrow that down even more for you here, Bob. I want you to look at the people you can see here. Right? The people you can visibly see with your 2 working eyes.
Uh-huh.
Who here would you consider management?
Me? These guys are all pretty new. And he looks at the other 3 guys, and he's like, of us, I've been here the longest.
Is there logic here?
Tents. So it really looks like these guys kind of came in and set up started cutting down trees and set up basically this little campsite, and that's what they've been working out of while they cleared the rest of the area.
What Sage is going to go do is so they're building are they just cutting down trees, or they're like a sawmill or something?
No, this looks like it was just cutting down trees.
Okay. So, what kind of machinery for that do we got around here?
So I don't know if you've ever seen them, but it's almost like a backhoe, but it's got like a clamp on it that clamps around a tree, cuts it off, and it takes all the branches off, turns it, and cuts it into sections. That, and then they've got a couple other backhoes with the big grabbers to move branches around. So there's just maybe 1 or 2 of each of those, a bulldozer or 2 for pulling stumps out, because they have been actually pulling the stumps out to kind of flatten the ground.
Okay. So what?
And then a couple of just a couple pickups, 4x4s.
Okay, so what Sage is going to do, because Bob is useless as far as they are concerned, they are going to take a note from Breaker's book, and they are going to go around all of these machines and first they're going to go. What kind of provisions do we got around here?
Let's come back to that.
Because what they're going to do is they're going to go around and break all of them in whatever way they can. Because I was asking about sugar to pour in the tanks.
Okay.
So.
All right, just Linda. What are you doing?
So I would have gone over to Lockjaw and actually sat down with him. And I'd say, now I understand that you attacked these men, these humans. What for? Just because they were here?
This is our land. They are trespassing.
Would I know if that is true?
Make an intelligence and survival roll for me. Difficulty 6.
No idea.
Okay.
Okay. So you've killed them before, and they just keep coming back.
No. Killed some. Then guns come. Then I get captured. Then you come. Kill many. Kill all. They no come back.
They come back.
Too costly.
You don't know that.
They come back. We kill more.
Or they capture you again.
That gets a growl.
Yeah, I figured it would. I'll take that stab.
Too soon.
Do you have any ranks in occult?
I have 3.
You have 3. Okay. So you just in your short conversation with them, and based upon their markings when they were in their lupus form, you are pretty sure that these 2 eyes are red talons.
Okay.
And for those who don't know, red talons are a werewolf tribe that is composed only of wolf-born garb. They are only lupus. They do not have any homids because they do not associate with humans. Back in the Bronze Age, or even before that, werewolves conducted what was called the Impergium. The Impergium was where, in order to maintain humanity's levels at an acceptable amount, they would go through and cull them. And this is what led to the delirium, which is that fog, that haze that comes over humans when werewolves are about. It's kind of built into the human ancestral memory to be afraid of werewolves. The Red Talons believe that the Impergium never should have ended. Humanity is a blight upon the face of Gaia, and they should be wiped out. So you very quickly realize that that is basically the outlook that these 2 are coming into this with. That if they kill enough humans, no more humans will come. So, I'm going to let you think on that. Breaker, you have destroyed all the radios. You now
Correct
see
all
that
the things.
Now that you see that Sage appears to be sniffing around the other machines, you gonna go help them?
I'm heading over to Lockjaw and Shadow.
Okay, so you get there just as
I am shifting into lupus before I do this.
Okay. Yeah, so you get over there and you hear just the end of their conversation with Linda. If we kill the humans and we make it costly enough, they'll stop coming.
Is your sept nearby?
Slips through shadow, looks at Lockjaw, and then kind of steps back. And Lockjaw looks down at you because he's still in Krenos. kind of sniffs you, and he turns towards Linda. Linda, you're still in Krenos?
No, I'm in Hamid.
Oh, you switched on. Yeah, you shifted back to Hamid. That's right. You are Wolfborn.
Yep.
You run with Hamid's. And then kind of steps up and says, Alpha. That gets a nod. It is right that you lead. It is right that you show them the way. But I will not tell you of our sept. You must earn our trust. You have... And he looks around at all of the bodies. You have started well.
Well, look, we were passing through. We've got our own task to deal with. So I figured if you were close, we'd stop in, make ourselves known. We don't want to trespass on our way through.
You and your pack may pass.
Okay. I mean, you guys look like you got things covered here. You've got, this is your land, and we don't want to disrupt your ways. We have we have much traveling, more nights of running before we reach our destination.
He nods, and he looks to Linda and gives a much shallower nod. And then they sit down. And let's switch back to Fraser. So you push into the tent that he indicated, and you see that there is there's a desk. It doesn't have a computer on it. It just kind of has some files. But one thing that your eye is immediately drawn to is that there is a large map on the back wall. And as you get closer to that map, you can start making out some markings on it. This is a little bit different than a normal street map that you would have dealt with in the past, but it's a topographical map. So it has a more of a breakdown of
the height, elevation.
Yeah, so it's more detailed than what you're normally used to, but less detailed at the same time. Roll me wits and survival.
Wits and survival, you say? All right.
Mm-hmm.
And what difficulty is this at?
6.
2 successes.
Okay. So you kind of go over to it, and kind of takes you a little while, but you're like, oh, okay, so this, okay, and oh, you are right smack dab in the middle of the Grand Portage Indian Reservation. This is native land.
And they're not supposed to be here. Excellent.
There's no way that these guys would have gotten permission to be in here cutting down trees.
Okay. I'm going to take the map with me.
Okay.
I'm going to take a look at the folders as well, see if I can't skim through it and see if anything catches my eye.
Okay. Yeah, just a quick skim through on it. It looks like this is basically just payroll.
Alright, and the last thing I'm going to do is, if he has an article of clothing, that looks like it was in the dirty bin, I'm going to take it.
Okay. Yep. You find a there's just a cot, and there's a foot locker that has a lock on it.
Okay, I'm just going to take the locker and the map, and I'm going to go back.
The foot locker, as in this thing, is big.
Okay.
He's got essentially everything that he owns in this thing.
Is it a combination lock? Is it?
It is a key lock. Now, allow me at this point to remind you that you have a gift called Open Seal.
I do. So I would like to use it on that sock.
Okay. Roll your Gnosis with a difficulty of 5.
So current Gnosis?
No. It is your total Gnosis rating.
Okay. Difficulty 5. 1 success.
That's all you need. You reach out your hand, take the lock in your hand, and just kind of close your eyes and hold it for a second, and you call upon the spirit of a raccoon that taught you this gift. And you hear a click, and the lock falls open in your hands.
Open it.
Swing it open, and there you find some dirty clothing, and you see that it has John embroidered on it.
Ah, yes, my arch nemesis, John. Yeah, I'll just take some. If there's anything else of interest, I'll take a look. Otherwise, I'm just gonna pick it up and I'll go back.
Okay. So you head back out to the group as Sage is finishing up sabotaging the rest of the equipment. I'm assuming that's what you said you're looking for sugar, and you're muted.
Yeah, Sage is going to make it costly for them to come back in other ways.
Okay.
Hit him in pockets.
Okay. But yeah, so you do find a fairly well-stocked camp kitchen. So there is sugar, there's flour, there's a refrigerator that seems to be running on a diesel generator.
Break the generator, ruin like all the equipment I can, you know.
So you finish that up around the same time that Fraser is emerging from the tent and heading towards the rest of the pack. So all four of you kind of meet up in the center. Fraser has a handful of clothing and a map rolled up under his arm. And he would probably at this point share the knowledge that he learned. This is... Oh, he's back. I'll let him speak. So you meet up with all four of you in the middle of the camp. You have a dirty shirt and a map under your arm, Fraser. What do you tell the rest of the group?
I'm gonna walk up to them. Does this place have like sometimes like middle management will set up a tent with a table underneath it just to sit around and have meetings with?
You're pretty sure that was the tent you were just in.
Okay. I'm just gonna come right out and be like, "Hey, we need to talk, please." Yeah. talk. Sure what you want, but it's kind of important.
What did you find?
And he's gonna kind of like go down on one knee and roll this map out on the ground and be like, "This."
There's a hood of a truck that you could spread it out on.
Okay, we'll do that then. Call it a 95 Dodge and put it right on there. And it'll be like, this is. It'll point out to the north. This is the boundary here. Boundary here. Boundary here. We are smack dab in the middle of this reservation. And as far as I know, and believe me, I've kept tabs on the news, there ain't shit supposed to be going on here. There's no way in hell these people got permission to be here. Like, this might possibly be bigger than we think it is. Than just logging. Than just construction. Like, they went to some actual effort to, one, keep it secret, because normally, if you're building a hospital, they'll tell the construction workers. They did not do that. Obviously, Mr. Intelligent knows not a fuck thing about this. And then two, armed guards in the middle of the woods before they knew that we were here.
How big of an area does this map cover?
This map covers a decent-sized chunk of the area. You would say that you can see the edge of Lake Superior on the eastern edge of it, but it doesn't go as far to the west or south as Eli. So it's the reservation and a decent amount of the land around it.
I mean, at the very least, it's worth asking some questions. It's actually why I was headed to Duluth. I heard rumors about this place, but nothing concrete until I got captured.
That's not what our rite of passage is. We were sent to find grandmother.
Well, it seems like Fraser has other plans.
Fraser has questions. He likes answers.
This pack, it's their land. We can tell them what is going on, and they can handle it. And we have our own thing to do.
All right.
We stopped to help.
And we helped.
We helped. So now we go again.
We helped, and
well, far
would Sage just mentally thinks about thinks about their group of human students that they have with their dad, where they, how they've been low key teaching these kids about Gaia and how to protect Gaia, because if you get them young, they'll do it. And they are going there's going to be a whole big old lesson plan with these kids about the importance about protecting native land and telling them a version of what they saw here to the kids. Not the truth, but a version of it. Something that'll stick with them.
Okay.
Fraser's kind of be like, oh, all right. And do I get cellular reception here at all?
No.
Okay. So I will roll up the map and take the shirt, and I will go back to Lockjaw, and I will hand him both the map and the shirt. And I'll relay him the information as I see. Like, he knows where he is, obviously. But just let him know, like, this is incredibly invasive, and they would not have done this without a greater purpose. There's no, like, it is riskier for them to do this than is normal. They wouldn't have done this in the first place, is what I'm going to say, without some kind of cause, without some kind of, like, they have to have a reason to be here. And kind of just implore them to find out what that is and maybe get ahead of it. And I'll hand him the shirt in case he wants to track down this guy. And I will go back and we will continue on our way.
Okay. Thank you. We will defend Gaia. We will not forget the aid you have given us this day.
When you tell stories about me, just leave the cage and the collar part out, okay? Just, if you could, yeah, no, all right.
All right. So then you guys...
I will, before we leave proper, and even though I know Lockjaw doesn't like me, nevertheless, Linda will go before him and she'll point at the clothing that Fraser had given him, say, make sure that you find him. Understand the words that Fraser said. No matter how many you kill, this will not stop. But I employ you, these men, and I point to, like, the loggers who don't know shit. They don't know anything. Be kind, if you can. And then I'll look at the loggers and I'll say, I've done what I can. And then I'll walk away.
Okay. And from behind you, you hear him call out, their deaths will be painless.
I, like, stop, not looking back, and then just keep going.
Okay. That's about the best you're going to get out of him.
Yeah, I figured.
You helped him. He will give them painless and quick deaths. And I think that we've been sitting by the fire long enough tonight. So we're going to call it a night. We thank you for daring to follow us into the wilds as we strove to delay the apocalypse, and hope you will join us again next time. If you would be so kind as to click follow here on Twitch, as well as subscribing on YouTube, we would greatly appreciate it. Special thanks tonight to our patrons and Twitch subscribers. Without your support, the battle to save Gaia would already be lost. If you would like to join this illustrious group, you can find the links on our website or contribute to the cause by purchasing some branded items in our new merch shop. In addition, we wish to once again extend our thanks to Onyx Path Publishing, Astral Tabletop, at Nate Mid for our custom Astral Tabletop character sheets, and finally, White Bat Audio, Mayu, Ghost Stories Incorporated, Dark, Somnium, and Darren Curtis for some of the awesome music gracing our ears during this adventure. Finally, I wish to thank my wonderful players. Please tell the viewers who you are and where they can see you before next week.
As always, I am Dwayne at Made of Kimchi on the internet. I was playing Linda Davis, the trying to be peaceful werewolf. The next time you guys will see me will be sometime. It will be next Thursday, I think. Yeah, next Thursday playing Alien.
I am Zach Rules on the Twitters in reality, and my name is Zachary Outright, he, him. I write community content stuff. You can find it on my Twitter page in the pinned post, including some stuff with the Four Patels and more from that to come. The next time you'll see me will be on Tuesday on the Onyx Path channel. I will be story guiding for Scion Origins.
Nice.
Hi, my name is Ray Alexa, they, them. You can find me on Twitter at RAChastaway.
I believe it's written like down here. If you want to give me a follow. And if you want to see me again, you can find me on Thursday over on Carrion Covered Studios, playing Monster Hearts 2, Cupper County High, where I play another werewolf named Kennedy Brennan.
And I have been Frasier DeSeth, and I am otherwise known as John, J3Billion on all the interwebs, and I will be right here 4 o'clock, for Unknown Armies tomorrow.
Well, wonderful. And now we kick it back to you, dear viewers. It's your time to vote for a player that you think stood out. You can do this once per session and give that player a point of rage, gnosis, or willpower that they can use at any time in the future. So if you haven't already voted, do so now. While they are doing that, we're going to come back to the players. With, tired, sorry. While they're doing that, I'll give the players do the same, but your votes will give 1 point of extra XP. So who do you think stood out tonight and why?
I am once again going to give my vote to Breaker of Chains for the immense knowledge that he brings to the game, allowing me to follow and not look like a complete noob.
All right, well, I'm giving it right back to you because the idea of a Hamid trying to reason with a red talon. Yeah, that was the moment. That was it.
Thank you.
I'm going to give my vote to Breaker of Chains. Just because of the way he absolutely wrecked shop that entire time.
Yeah, but y'all are great. I'm gonna give mine to Sage because a 2-ton boulder is very hard to lift, and I appreciate you being able to throw it like a matchstick. So,
Very nice. All right, so looks like we got a vote in chat for Sage for that same move. So Sage, you get a point of rage, gnosis, or willpower to use at a later date. And looks like Machete gives a vote to Dwayne for trying your best to save the loggers. Well earned on both of those. And then XP. Dwayne, you get 2. Zach, you get 4. Ray, you get 3. And John, you get 2. If you guys want to spend any of those, please let me know during downtime, and we will figure it out for you. but our fire is burning low. So we meet Banhu back here next Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Until then, tuck in and don't let the worm bite. Good night, everybody.
Hey.